What if I told you that there was one thing right now that every successful person was investing in and you could do the same to get financial freedom, to get your time back, and to start even getting you on a path to doing what you love? And the best part is, you could do it from anywhere on the planet, on any device that you have in your pocket right now, and for just as little as 30 minutes a day. And the best part is, it's 100% free. The secret is investing in yourself. Now wait, before you think about clicking off this video because you think it's some sort of self-help seminar, I'm actually gonna still teach you 5 real-world skills that if you learn, you can undeniably become successful in this world. Plus, if you stick around to the end, you even get access to the 10 pieces of content that have changed my life. Now, I should give you some context if you're coming into this blind. You and I are probably similar. You have a dream of some sort, and I had a dream, but 10 years ago, I was happy enough to finally make that dream a reality where I quit my 9-to-5, I started my own business, and I was able to do what I love. I'll admit, I wasn't exactly a prime candidate. Really, I didn't have a lot of the skills required to even run a successful business. Fast forward to now, and I've realized that honestly anybody can do it. And I'm here to tell you that not only can you do it, but you just need to have a certain mindset shift. Just like when you play a video game and you grind to level up your character, or you watch a TV show or movie and you're invested in the story arc, you need to start treating yourself as the main character. And if it meant getting to that point where you could become a millionaire, or your app could be downloaded by thousands of people, or maybe you just want to help your local community, then all you need to do is to just take small steps. Instead of trying to wait for your big break, I'm going to show you how to make your big break. The first skill that you need to learn is sales. And I know what you're thinking: used car salesmen, scummy people, gold teeth and chain, trying to get you to buy something that you don't need. It's my philosophy that, as somebody who put aside learning sales for so many years, that it's not really about getting people and convincing them to buy something that they want. It's about finding people and giving something they need. Because a lot of the times, successful people just find opportunity, they're able to act on that opportunity, and they're able to continuously create value. You need to learn how to sell ideas, how to convey concepts, how to just get people to understand why they should take a certain direction. Ultimately, it's important that this can be used for good, and it can also be used for bad. But if you're the good type of person who does good sales, then that means you're finding people that you can make an impact with. You need to understand how to just get to those people and how to understand reducing the risk of ultimately working with you. So, to recap, sales is not about persuasion. It is not about hacking. It is not about trying to get somebody to take an action they don't want to take. The best sales are aligning your values with somebody else's needs. If there's somebody out there with a problem and you have a solution, then ultimately sales is just meeting in the middle. The second skill set you should learn is marketing. And I know nobody likes to have ads forced down their throat, but all it comes down to is taking that impact you can bring, that sales message that you have, the value that you create, and it's about bringing it to more people who need it. It is not about trying to force down something onto somebody who doesn't want it, but it has to be real value, real impact, and a real actual change. If you're able to do those things, then marketing becomes a no-brainer because you're just getting it closer to those people who actually want that change. And ultimately, a lot of the times, I've seen so many people spend years saying they wish they were famous, they wish more people bought their art, they wish more people bought from their business, yet they don't do any marketing. They don't post anything on social media, they don't document the journey, they don't tell the story, they don't do anything until the very last minute when it hurts them. If you want more people to notice you and you want them to see the impact you're bringing to this world, then create opportunities to market yourself. Post more on social media, talk about your stuff, interact with people, even if it just means shaking hands. Talking to a stranger on the street about your stuff might mean the difference between you getting $1 million deal and you just never getting that opportunity in your entire life. Learn how to talk to people, learn how to tell stories, learn how to communicate value ultimately. Because if you can't do that, then unfortunately you're never going to be able to make it. Quiet mouths don't get fed. So to recap, Marketing, whether you like it or not, even if you're 9 to 5, even if you're starting a business, even if you're just sharing your passion with your community, you're going to need to be able to do it to more people at once. You're going to need to be able to share your stuff. Without that expertise or without that skill set in your back pocket, it becomes very difficult because you're going to be spending all this time just waiting for somebody to hopefully knock on your door and you'll get discovered. It doesn't happen like that. The third skill set you should learn is copywriting, which if you haven't heard of this before, it is the act of taking the text or the language you use to describe your product, your service, or maybe even just your skill set in a way that makes it seem more understandable and enticing. I can't tell you how many times I've seen multimillionaires develop supposedly the next big app, but they can't get people to download it because they don't understand what it does. If you're able to take very high-level concepts and boil them down into language that people understand, then that makes you invaluable in any scenario. Also, if you're able to make it seem more enticing so that people can understand the outcomes and the benefits of working with that feature set, then it is absolutely undeniably a skill that applies to anything. And the best part is this amplifies your existing skill set as well. Famously, this is why Steve Jobs described the iPod in terms of song capacity, because he didn't want to go around and say, hey, this thing holds 16 gigabytes, because in the early 2000s, people didn't know what that meant. But if you said, hey, this thing holds 10,000 songs so you can bring your entire music library with you on the go, it's fundamentally the same thing, but the descriptor enhances the value. So what you need to do is to understand how to speak the language of people that you want to get your stuff. If you guys are not speaking the same language, if you're not on the same page, if they don't really understand what these features do, then it's kind of like you're speaking entirely different languages between one another. So to recap, copywriting is the skill set of taking the text and language that you use and doing 3 key things: increasing the value of whatever it is you're writing or talking about, taking a high-level concept and making it easier for people to understand, and ultimately making it easier for somebody to take action with that thing. Let's say you want to build a website. You're going to need to know how to make great headlines, great bodies, great button text. Let's say you build a brochure. You're going to need to know how to talk about your stuff in a way that people know what it is, why it matters, and what the next steps ultimately are. Or let's say you're even just creating content. You need to be good at storytelling in a way that makes it captivating, in a way that makes it engaging. The fourth skill I would learn is data gathering. I've seen people waste millions of dollars not asking the right questions, because if you get the right questions, then all of the answers become clear. Think about it this way. If you wanted to know why somebody wasn't buying something, why they weren't clicking on a button, why your boss hates you, why you don't understand why this thing is arranged that way, why people aren't just taking the next step with your stuff, why would you spend years guessing instead of going to those people and asking them why? Why didn't you click this? Why didn't you buy this? What could we have done better? What could we have done faster? Business owners are so guilty of this, and it might be something where they spend weeks, months, years trying to get it right, just guessing by their own inclination, when if they went straight to the source, not only would those people thank you for trying to get feedback and improving your thing, but ultimately, you would get all the answers that you are seeking. What you need to do is to learn how to shed your ego and go straight to the source. Go to the people who you want to buy your stuff. Go to the people who you want them to take action. Go to the people who you just need to eliminate that guesswork with and ask them, what could I be doing better? What could I be doing faster? What am I not doing that you want me to be doing? Take all of that data and just put it somewhere, record it, record your games, just like a football player does when they actually go back and watch it. Same thing here, record your Zoom calls, record your sales interactions, record those in-person meetings, and you will be surprised when you actually play them back, when you notice all the little isms of what could be better. If you interviewed 100 people in your local area about starting a business, and you just took that inside of a Google Doc somewhere, then you would have a rock-solid business plan that would skip years of trial and error. So to recap, gathering data will save your life. The best companies in the world always need feedback to know how they're doing, what they could be doing better, and ultimately, what new things people want. Because if you don't know that, if you don't connect with your customers, if you don't connect with your employers, if you don't connect with the people who you want to take action with your stuff, then you're basically going to be guessing, and they have all the answers that you need to know. It is a goldmine of information that all you simply need to do is ask. The fifth and final skill I would focus on is value creation. And if I had to choose one out of this list to solely focus on, it would be this one, for the simple reason alone that the people in this world who can create the most value will not only consistently stay ahead, but be able to go farther than anybody else. What does this mean? Well, think about all the brands you interact with, the things you like purchasing, or the things you're subscribed to right now that you get enjoyment out of. There's always some sort of exchange, be it time, be it money. There has to be something that's sacrificed. But if you feel like you got value out of it, then you don't feel like you were sold to. You liked to buy that thing. You want the latest phone, the latest car, the latest what have you. And all too often, there's something about them that you enjoy. Maybe it's the way they're designed. Maybe it's the colors they use. Maybe it's just the way they're laid out. There has to be something that you value about it. And all you need to do is to get really good at understanding what other people value about your stuff, about your skill set, about the thing you're trying to sell or just bring into this world. And even if you can just create more value around it, then suddenly it becomes a no-brainer. Now, to be clear, value is a subjective experience. There might be something that we both have purchased in our lives, but we value completely different things about it. And it's all about knowing what that thing is and being able to continuously pump that up. If you are able to not only bring impact into this world, but understand how to create long-term value from it, then you go from basically having customers to fans for life. People will root for your stuff. They'll want to be a part of your mission. They'll vouch for it. They'll go out to the ends of the earth just to talk about it. So all you need to do is to understand how to create that value. And it all comes down to understanding the wants, needs, and desires of the people that you want to buy your stuff, the people who want to hire you, or just somebody who's going to interact with something that you're bringing into this world. Now, if you don't do this, then you will be relegated to simply selling the features. And the features are unfortunately something that so many people lean on. If you're out there selling a job title, if you're out there selling something that is just strictly a service or just strictly a product or just strictly a commodity, then there is no value. It's simply a race to the bottom. Think about it. If I can get a better version of that thing and I'm looking at it at face value, it only becomes a game of who has the cheapest version of it. And I'll tell you now, there is zero advantage to being the cheapest game in town, but there is an incredible advantage to being the best in town. And that is what you should strive for. So to recap, get really good at value creation. The ability to just understand the wants, needs, and desires of people who you are just trying to get them to buy your thing, your employer, or just something out there that you're trying to bring into the world. If you can align with what they value and to what you can create from your skill set, then everything will become easier because you're both on the same page. You're already giving them something that they value. You're already naturally progressing them to the next step. So many business owners miss the mark on this because they're simply just selling things that only matter to them. So, if this video was valuable to you, then make sure to subscribe because I put out one of these a week to help you escape your 9-to-5, start a business, or even just grow your business. And I did promise you a bonus where if you do click the link in the description, I'll give you the 10 pieces of content that have changed my life. I swear by these. They're in book format. If you're a reader, if you're not a reader, they're an audiobook. You could just put them on like a podcast in your car, but take these skills and actually apply them to just your day-to-day. And I promise you will have wealth beyond your dreams, you will have more free time, and you'll be able to actually take control of your life. Because if you don't do this, with the rate that the world is changing right now, you'll still be stuck surviving. And I want you to be thriving. So, that's all I got for you today. Until then, I'll see you next time.